coming to you live down below Owensboro, Kentucky. Um, I hope everybody can hear me okay. Let me make sure I'm on. There we go. Good. Okay, good to see everybody tonight. And we got an exciting show. Going to be as brief as I can and trying to keep these down half hour or less if I can. And we got a lot going on. We sure do. We got a lot going on. Let me see if I can tilt that just a little bit. There, that's better, isn't it? Okay, good. All right. Greetings, everybody. Spotlight is here, and the trump of God has not sounded. The dead in Christ have not risen. We are still alive and remain. And we've not yet been caught up, but that day is coming, and that day is coming soon, my friend. We're another day closer to the trumpet sounding. But we've got a job to do while we're down here until he comes for us. We're supposed to occupy till he comes. And here at Prophecy Spotlight, that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep you informed on the lateness of the hour and where we are in God's prophetic time clock. Now, let me make a statement here. By the way, we got a good crowd coming over here on Facebook. We had over 600 views on the Facebook Live Monday night. It may be 700 now. I'm not sure, but we had a pretty good amount of people on that. The YouTube, I think, is around 400. I'd like to get the YouTube to surpass Facebook eventually, but we're going to do both of them. We're going to reach as many people as we can with both of these media outlets here. And so we've got some exciting things to share with you tonight. Let me say this as we look and see who's on here. Scott is here from Trinity, North Carolina. Scott Forrester. He is the gospel poet. You ought to check him out. He's written several poems for us. Some of them are in some of my books. Just awesome stuff. Van Buren, Arkansas is here. Marvin, and I'm sure there's many others. But so anyway, let's get the show on the road. Let me say this. Prophecy. You cannot separate prophecy from politics. Every now and then someone will say, Brother Good, why do you got to talk about politics? Let's stick to prophecy. My friend, politics is prophecy. If you haven't figured that out yet, you haven't read the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 2 is politics and it's prophecy. The statue, the four kingdoms, and the fifth kingdom being the Antichrist kingdom. That's why politics is more important than you realize, because politics is leading us down the road to the end time and the one world government system. And it's almost here. There's still a cog in the wheel that's slowing things down and not allowing them to get full power. But it won't be much longer when that trumpet sounds and God removes the restrainer that indwells us. Everything will change in a moment. So I want to talk about some news items today. If you haven't been paying attention, today is a huge news day. And huge. First of all, are you aware? Who else we got here? We got Russell. He's in Texas. And we've got lots of news that I think has some prophetic tones to them that show us something about where we are and what's coming and all that. So let me share with you some of the huge news events of our day today. The first one is the Supreme Court. There were hearings at the Supreme Court concerning the Colorado taking Trump off the ballot thing. Now, I realize Maine, the Secretary of State of Maine did that. That's not part of this case, but it will be affected by this when they come out with their decision. But it was shocking. Every single news commenter today was mentioning how bad this was for the Democrat prosecutor and those on the Democrat side, and how bad that they looked. Now we don't have a decision yet, but you can tell by the things that the justices ask and the things that they bring up and the comments that they make during the hearing, and it was bad. It was embarrassing. And some people are actually saying they think it's going to be a 9-0 decision against the Democrat system, against being able to take. You see, their goal is not just Colorado. Their goal is if Colorado survives this and is allowed to take the president Trump off the ballot, what they're saying is that there's 20 some other states that are going to follow suit, and there won't be a Donald Trump on the ballot. And I told somebody today, I wonder if he was took off the ballot in all those states, and everybody wrote in his name. I wonder if he might still win. That'd be interesting. But it'd be very difficult to do that. So that's a pretty big thing because this really shoots down because the insurrection stuff came up. One justice said, "Well, who's been arrested? Who has been arrested and charged with insurrection? Nobody. Nobody from January 6th. None of those guys that are being put in solitary confinement. Not one of them is being charged with an insurrection. None. The president has not been. Nobody has. Why is that? Because there's no evidence of an insurrection. And this all came out today. So this not only hurts the getting him off the ballot thing, but this has a wide ranging ramifications of other things that are in the pipeline, like trying to get him for insurrection in Washington D.C. courts. This has backfired hugely on the Democrats. The fact that they brought this thing to the Supreme Court and thinking that they could win this. Not a chance, not a chance. Some people are saying it could be 9-0 against the Democrats. Others are saying there might be one, maybe two justices who vote yes. But even most are saying that they don't even think you'll get any. Pretty shocking, huh? Okay, so that's one thing. And another thing going on is with the President Biden, the usurper. There's been a special counsel. Many of you don't know this. There's been a special counsel investigating the top secret classified documents, not that Trump has, but that Biden had in his garage. There, you can see pictures of it. Behind his Corvette is a bunch of boxes of classified information right there in the garage for anybody to go rummage through. This special counsel prosecutor declared that the president broke the law. Huge breaking. He did this as vice president, for goodness sakes. Some of them are probably while he was a senator. It's a crime. It's a crime. What Trump did was not a crime. What Biden did is a crime. And and what they're saying is that Biden had a ghostwriter writing his books, and he was using this material for the books. So somebody that's not even got a top secret clearance was looking at top secret information. Some of it, by the way, they said involved Afghanistan and other countries, very sensitive stuff that shouldn't be in the hands of other people, they claim. And so that's all. And now here's the big thing about that. They questioned the president, and they said we're not going to charge him because he's not able to stand trial because his mind is broken. I'm not saying they didn't say it that way, but they say he doesn't know even what year he was vice president when he was questioned, and other things. He doesn't realize certain people are dead in his family. He can't get anything straight. They said he's not competent to stand a questioning, to stand trial. So they're not going to try him for these crimes against our country. And the question being asked all over Washington and all the country today is, how can he be president if his mind is broken and he's got dementia, he doesn't even know what year he was the vice president. And so they're saying, and by the way, I got a story here. I think I have it up. Um, let's see. Hey, Melissa, thank you. There's that 8th of the month again. Remember, we did a show about that sometime back, about every month on the 8th, something big happened. And Melissa, you're the one that's always reminding me of that show and bringing up these. Melissa, if you do you have a list of those things? Because I don't even remember what they all were. But Melissa, thanks for bringing that out. The 8th of the month, big news seems to come out, and a lot of things happen. Didn't the Queen die on the 8th or something like that? There's a whole bunch of stuff on the 8th. If anyone's got that information that I brought out way back then, I'd like to look at that. Um, he said he didn't know how the documents got in his garage. Somebody carried them there. That's how. Somebody put them there, and somebody most likely didn't have a right to have access to them. Oh, what a joke! All right, Queen Elizabeth died on it. There's a whole bunch of things that happened on the 8th of the month, and today's the 8th, and a whole bunch of things happened today. And Melissa, send me a PM. Melissa, send me a personal message and list as many of those things as you can remember. Maybe we'll do something with that. Maybe we need to start looking more closely again at the 8th of the month every month. Hey, when's the election in November? What day is that? It can't be the 8th. It's got to be the 6th or 5th or so. I don't know. Anyway, um, so now here's what Tim Scott said. I was going to bring that up. Let me click on this. There's a story out tonight, and Senator Rick Scott calls on cabinet. That's the president's cabinet members now. He's calling on them to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove bribery Biden after this special counsel report for incompetence. He's cracked. The guy's walking around with a Marine that has the briefcase with the nuclear codes in it, and he don't even know when he was the vice president. The guy's lost his mind. Everybody knows that. You don't have to watch more than 5 minutes of an interview with the man to know that his mind is gone. Got no business being the president. You saw what I put on Facebook a few days ago. He was at this factory, and he just blurts out, "Did you know that he has the codes in his and we could destroy the world?" What kind of a statement is that to make to anybody out of the blue like that? Something wrong with him. And so this is all this stuff is happening today. So you got the Supreme Court and the hearings there, and the fact that the Democrats look like the idiots and the fools that they are. And what do you mean? One of the ladies said, one of the liberal ladies said, well, why should one state get to decide who the president is for the rest of the country? Um, I mean, this was way out there. Even the liberals couldn't wrap their brain around having the right to remove a candidate from the presidential ballot. All right, so there's another story, another big story, and that's the Tucker Carlson story. Tucker Carlson. And I'm looking at it right here. Go to libertydaily.com. It's right there on the front page. Tucker Carlson interviews Mr. Putin, President Putin. And I believe the interview was a day or two ago, but he's just now releasing. It's 2 hours long. I just got it started. I've only watched a few minutes of it. I just haven't had time to get to it yet. And I'm going to watch every bit of it. I want to hear what the man has to say. Let me tell you this, folks. You're going to find that Mr. Putin is going to tell you exactly what I told you when the war started with Ukraine. I said this from the beginning. That Mr. Putin was attacking Ukraine because Ukraine and our government, Kamala Harris and others, were holding out the carrot of NATO and the Ukraine becoming a NATO country. And Mr. Putin said, not on my watch. And by the way, he's right about that. He's right about that. Yeah, you cannot have you cannot have your enemy on your doorstep. We would not let Russia into Cuba because they were on our doorstep. We almost went to World War III over that. Mr. Putin is not going to let NATO on his doorstep into Ukraine. I'm not saying that Russia didn't want Ukraine anyway, because you got to read history. You got to look at all the history. Half the country speaks Russian, and a lot of Ukrainian people want to be Russia. So there's a lot more to this story. So we're going to hear from Mr. Putin. By the way, the whole country, the liberals have lost their minds. Some of them are saying that Mr. Tucker is committing treason. He's talking to the enemy. It's called being a journalist. Some of you, CNN, you ought to try it sometime. You ought to try being a journalist. You ought to try doing some investigative reporting and getting the facts for yourself instead of listening what's told you to say from the pipeline. And so that's going on, and that's going to be huge. There's going to be millions of views on that. I guarantee you. Anybody know right now how many views there are? I do not know, but I guarantee you there's going to be a boatload. There's going to be millions of views on this thing, and it's going to be talked about all day, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, on different news places. What's the guy from Indiana? He ran for Dan Coates. Anybody remember Dan Coates? Dan Coates. I heard somebody said that Dan Coates made the statement that Tucker should be barred from coming back into America. What kind of talk is that? What kind of nonsense is that, Mr. Coates? Who do you think you are? My goodness. See, that's the deep state. These people are warped. They're warped. Now, what's all this got to do with prophecy? I'm telling you, you're starting to see who the evil people are. As the more things happen, the more you begin to the evil people are being exposed. Dan Coates, he was thought of as a conservative some years ago. He's lost his mind. He's so in love with Ukraine and sending billions of dollars there, he's lost his mind. By the way, Tucker Carlson has also asked Zelensky in Ukraine, the president, he's asked him for an interview. Now that's being fair and balanced, isn't it? Let me ask him, and let me talk to Putin. Let's see what this is about. What caused the war? How do we end it? I bet you Zelensky doesn't. I bet you he don't let him interview him, because Zelensky would not want to get the questions that Tucker will ask him, because they're corrupt. They're corrupt. You do know that Zelensky's the one who was on the phone call with Trump that Trump got impeached over. Did Zelensky ever release anything that Trump asked him to look into? No, because he was on the take. He was on the take, like all the oligarchs over there. They were pocketing money, and Biden. Remember, Biden had the guy fired, and these people are corrupt. Ukraine and our government people are corrupt. Bribes and it's unbelievable, unbelievable. So we got that. There was something else here. I put it in the heading there. Let me see if I can find it. There was one other news story that I wanted to share here. There it is here. Let me find my page and open this up. And give me just a second. So I got the Supreme Court. I got Tucker. All right, let me get rid of that and find my page here. View your channel. Okay, here it is. High news day today. Lots of important news. Supreme Court, Tucker and Putin Biden, incapable, and the secret. I guess I got them all. The stuff about the special counsel finding him guilty, or that he's worthy of being charged. He's definitely committed a federal crime, but they're not gonna try him because his mind is broken. He can't remember when he was the vice president. So because of that, they're not going to try him. You ever heard of anything so crazy in your life? Hey, try that. Try committing the crime and see if they do that for you. No way, Jose. Um, they throw our guys in the clink without even being charged. They just throw them in the clinker. So I got that. Biden incapable of being in office, which means if he's impeached, or if they use the 25th Amendment and they get rid of him, Kamala becomes the president. Now, we've talked about that in the past, and I have said many times I thought they were going to throw her out first and then do this. They haven't thrown her out yet. Now that still could happen. She could be removed tomorrow. You just don't know. And these guys will do whatever they got to do to stack the deck and get the power. And they don't want Kamala. They hate Kamala. She was just a useful idiot and a tool to be used. And so I said all along that Biden would not be the one running for president. Uh, I said all along that they're going to find a replacement for him. It could be Michelle Obama. It could be the guy in California or somebody else. But who knows at this stage what's coming and what's going to happen. And um, and by the way, Trump has still got something on the docket for his classified information that was not against the law. He didn't break any laws, and yet Biden did far worse, and his was a crime, and he's off the hook. Trump, of course, because he's Trump, he's got to be destroyed, right? And so that's I think I got them all. The Supreme Court, Tucker, and Putin. I think that was the four things going on. So remember Daniel 2, and we'll close here. Daniel 2 talks about the statue, the head of gold, and then the shoulders and the chest of silver, and all the way down to the feet and the toes. Remember? Those were the four kingdoms of the world as man sees them: precious metals and power, esteem. Then Daniel 7 shows those same four kingdoms, five actually, if you include the Antichrist kingdom, which is the revived fourth kingdom, which includes parts of all four kingdoms, by the way. And but they're shown as wild beasts that cannot be tamed. That's what government is. That's what kingdoms are. They're wild beasts that cannot be tamed, which is why our forefathers gave us this thing called the Constitution. They understood this, and they said the Constitution was to be chains around the ankles of the beast to restrain it from taking power and going over the boundaries. And we've pretty much unshackled that thing. And very little of the Constitution is being abided by today, and that's why government has gotten so powerful and so big. Do you realize the payroll of the federal government, the amount of people that are on the take from the government? By the way, the government has no money. They take your money, and that's what they're using, and it's called taxes. So what I'm saying is this: what's going on politically in the world is right at the center of prophecy. We're headed towards a one world system. We're that close. Doc and I are going to be doing a show on Saturday. We'll be recording it. It's going to be about the 2030 agenda and what that is, what it could mean, where it might fit in the timeline of end times. And so we're going to do that. And because we're headed towards the global system, we're headed towards a cashless society. We're headed towards a system that is connected to and controlled by the beast. the mark of the beast, that whole system is going to be controlled by the Antichrist. That's how he can turn you off and turn you on. He can, without the mark, you cannot buy or sell because it'll be a system that he oversees and he can lock you out of it. That's not possible with cash. Okay, so we see these things. This isn't just politics, this is prophecy unfolding. That's what I'm trying to get you to see before I get emails from you. Well, why are you talking about politics? Because politics is part of the beast system, and we need to be up on this thing, be ahead of it. And by the way, if the rapture doesn't happen for a little while, you need to prepare yourself because some bad stuff is still unrolling. Now, let me say this as well. Let me say this. Biden just referred to something as the president of Mexico. I'm not sure who Sissa is. Maybe your spell check got you, Russell. I'm not sure. Anyway, let me say this. This whole thing is unwinding, and it's happening fast, and you need to be prepared for it. Listen, we're on the winning side. We don't have to worry about that. We're going to win, whether by rapture or Christ comes back on the white horse, sets up the kingdom. But until then, bad stuff's coming. Bad stuff's here, and more bad stuff's coming. And I think this. I think the Democrat Party, and by the way, it's not Biden. If you think Biden is the threat, Biden doesn't even know who he is half the time. I'm convinced they're injecting him with stuff when he needs to be in the camera. It does what it does, and he can only do so much even with that. Biden is not pulling the strings. You don't blame the border crisis on Mr. Biden. It's the inside deep state, as we call it, a group of people and institutions behind the scenes that are running things. I'm convinced, most people are convinced, that Mr. Obama is actively involved behind the scenes here. So let me say this. They're not gonna throw in the towel without a fight. Okay, the whole news day today is bad for the Democrats. But don't count those birds out. We've got a division within our guys. Our guys couldn't even vote to. We couldn't even get a vote to impeach the border guy, whatever his name is, McConnell, or I lost his name, but you know what I'm talking about. We couldn't even impeach him because some of our Republicans are spineless, and we got so many rhinos, and the Democrats are united in their craziness. The Republicans are fighting each other. It's the only thing saving the Democrats. And now today was a bad day all around. Even Mitch McConnell. Now that they're talking about throwing Mitch McConnell out of the leadership of the Senate. And by the way, that needed to be done a long time ago. The guy's nothing but he's not a MAGA guy. He's not for Trump. He's not on your side. He wants to send billions more of your dollars to Ukraine. And so his position is in jeopardy because of the news cycle today. I mean, they're talking about that now, that because they blew the bill that they were working on, and he was for it, and then he wasn't. They're saying he's got to go, and he does got to go. He's my senator here, one of them. Rand Paul's the other one, and which is a good one. And so this, what a news day. Many of you just finding out right now. You mean all this happened today? Yeah. And who knows what else? And who knows what's coming tomorrow? So what I'm saying is this: the Democrats are not going to throw in the towel without a fight. You know the old saying with the Democrats: never let a good crisis go to waste. They're going to need another crisis here pretty soon. And we knew that anyway. They're going to need something to keep everybody from voting normally. They need a way to bring in mail-in ballots like they did in 2020. They need another pandemic, or they need some kind of martial law. By the way, we didn't even talk about the Texas border and what's going on there, the standoff there. There was no news today about that, but that's still ongoing. Nobody's for sure. Civil war could be around the. They need something. They need a crisis, and they don't care who gets hurt. They don't care how many people die. They're in this to get power and to see their vision fulfilled for the one world system. They're right in the middle of it. And so exciting days we're living in. Lots of news today. Keep your eye on it. And I will let you go until next time. Bye bye. Now let me end with this. Don't leave. Don't leave. We still have a need of an RV. And I want to do, um, by the way, someone's asking about my daughter Esther, who answered the phone. She's doing much better. She's not been on any pain medicine for over 2 days now. Thank you all for praying for her. She broke her leg, and she's still recovering here. And by the way, that made us late on getting the letters out. The letter is printed. They'll be going out Monday. Monday or Tuesday, the letters to all the supporters, all the financial partners out there. Maybe some of you are watching. Everyone who gave $600 or more will get a statement in that letter of your giving for the year 2023. But we're sending out almost 400 letters. Now, this isn't just givers from 2023. There are some that go back to 2022 and maybe even before. Anyone that's given in the last couple of years, we're probably sending you one of the letters because we consider you a partner in the ministry here. We're hoping that you'll give some more and help some more in the future. And so those letters will be going out. We're late because my daughter, it was 2 weeks ago she broke her leg. And 2 weeks and 2 days ago now. And it has really upended our life here. And she's the one that keeps track and tells me, and Prince DeLavis tells me who the givers are, who needs a statement, how much they gave. And without her, I'm stuck. And so we're hoping we're going to get that this week. She's able to get on her computer again. She's going to be able to help us. And the letter's all printed. It'll be here Monday from my printer. 400 letters, all printed in color. In fact, here's what it looks like right here. There it is. We had this professionally done from my printer down there in Florida. I sent her the letter. She's actually put it in. She's printing these off. In fact, they're in the mail now. They'll be here. It's possible I'll get them before Monday, but I doubt it. It's coming UPS, so I doubt we'll get them. Tomorrow's Friday. I probably won't deliver on Saturday, so it'll be Monday. Anyway, those will be going out to you. If anyone that needs that for tax reasons, it's coming. If we get it out Monday, you'll get it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, something like that. And we would have had these out a couple weeks ago, but things happened. All right. And in the letter, I talk about a need that we have. Let's see. Here's the need. I'm looking for someone to donate an RV to us to set up right here in my yard. We'll connect right to the internet here. It will be used as a second studio. Since it's a 2-hour drive one way to our studio, there's no way I can go out there every day and do a 15-minute show. I do these here in my office. I need a studio that's just a studio that I can prepare and get some better quality. And you all know we've had some issues and problems here, and so we need this. We need an RV. It has everything. It has air conditioning, has heat, lights, electric. Everything's already there. You just put a camera in there, do a little work on the set. get some lighting, different things. But wonderful place for a studio. Plus, it's mobile. We could actually go on the road and interview people if we so chose. Um, it doesn't matter what your RV is. It can be a Class C motorhome. It can be a Class A motorhome. It can be a pull behind. Of course, if it's a motorhome, it's got to be drivable to where I can get it here. It can be a pull behind. I have a pickup truck. I can pull one. In fact, we were full timers. I know RVs. We lived in them. The whole we lived in them and traveled in them for 5 years. We didn't own a blade of grass. So I know RVs. I know how to handle them. And so, do you have one that you're not using? Or maybe if you don't, maybe you have one you don't think you need anymore. Maybe you'd like to see it used for the kingdom of God, and maybe you'd like to see a TV show done from your RV, and you can realize, hey, there's studios in my RV. And or if you don't have an RV, what I'm saying is you got one that's in good shape that you'd like to give to us, and we'll come get it if needed, or you can bring it, whatever, and we can set it up here. We can put the studio in there, and because here's what I want to do. I'm looking at doing a live video every day, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just something, a thought for the day or something, prophecy or what's going on in the world or what's happening right now. A quick 10 or 15-minute video every day. Wouldn't that be something? But I really need a studio here to really be able to do some of this stuff. So you're saying, well, I'd like to help Brother Good, but I don't have one. Well, maybe we're not. Maybe nobody has one that's in our system here. Maybe we need to buy one. Maybe you'd like to be a part of that. Maybe you say, Brother Good, I've got some money. I don't have an RV, but I'll pitch in some money towards it. Now don't take money that you normally give to Prophecy in the Spotlight television and redirect it to the RV. That's not going to help us. That's going to hurt us. We need every dime that comes in. We barely make it every 3 months. We can't take Prophecy in the Spotlight TV money and redirect it towards this RV for the studio. This would be over and above. This would be something extra. Okay. So if you would like to do that, maybe you got $1,000 you want to put towards it. By the way, you don't have to spend $20,000 on an RV. You can spend hundreds of thousands. But by the way, this is a buyer's market right now. This is winter. There's some RVs out there, pull behinds that you can get at a pretty good price right now, if we had the money. And I've put this need out there before in the past, and so far it hasn't got much traction. But I'm trying to get you to see how needful this is, and how helpful this would be to Prophecy Spotlight. The studio we use every week is out there in Illinois. Doc owns that building. That's his ministry there, and we've used that for 3.5 years, and it's wonderful. And we're going to continue there. What I'm saying is, I'm doing a lot here. In fact, I'm starting to do more here than we're doing out there. I'm doing Facebook lives 2 a week. I'm doing 2 YouTube lives a week, and I want to do a daily thing, Monday through Friday. And this would be very helpful. So maybe you've got an RV, pull behind, Class C, Class A, something in good shape, clean, something that we could have, very little problem, or very little expense to get it ready to put a studio in it. A lot of them have that table and set up there. Some of them have a slide that slides out on some of them. Perfect studio setting right there. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better than that. And a lot of times there's a window behind you. You just pull the shade, and I can put a TV there. I mean, just really, really good system. And so you don't have an RV, maybe you'd like to put some money towards it. Now, here's the thing: if you gotta get a hold of us. we need a separate account for this. If you just go to the website and you hit the donate button, yeah, we'll get the money, but I won't know what it's for unless you call us or you tell us. And I'm not saying you can't do that. That would be okay. I just have to make a note of, all right, $500 is in Spotlight's account, but it's for the RV. I have to keep up with that. I'm thinking we may want to put this in my Jubilee account instead, so that we know what that is. We know what it's for, and we can put it towards an RV. And maybe someone will give us an RV. That's fine, and that's good. And maybe people have sent some money. We can use that money to get the thing set up. I could use another camera, or even two. I'd like to have a system in this RV, just like the system we have out there in Illinois, is the same system, so that my wife will know how to use it, and we can actually have two cameras and switch cameras. So this all costs money. So, by the way, ministry, have you figured that out yet? Ministry and reaching people is costly. It's costly. If you're going to be on the airways, if you're going to be on TV, if you're going to have a studio, it's going to cost money. And nothing new about that. Ministry always costs money. There's nothing free. Nobody's giving away buildings to the world's not offering us anything. We have to pay our way, right? And everybody on television has to pay for it. And so pray about that. I realize many of you are already giving, and you're probably giving all you can give. And I would not ask you to give more than you can afford. Now, those of you that are giving already for Spotlight Television, I would not want you to hurt yourself or give more than you can afford. Don't do that. But I'm thinking there's some of you out there that maybe you got money, you're well off, and maybe you're listening to this right now. You're saying, you know what, I want to be a part of that. I want to help with this. If you got an RV and you want to give it to us, we want it. If you got some cash, you want to help us buy one, we want to talk to you. Okay, so all right. Well, God bless everybody. I'm gonna cut off the YouTube now, and you can find us at processingthespotlight.com. And my phone number, my cell phone, if you have an RV or you would like to talk to me about giving, let me give you a number here: 814-599-6280. 814-599-6280. And if you didn't get it, you can replay this after it comes on, and you can get that. It's also on the website. If you go to the Processing Spotlight, you can find my phone numbers there. Text me if you could. If you don't have texting and you need to call, that's fine. You can call. Texting lets me know who you are and lets me know to call you back and all that. So anyway, well, God bless, and exciting days, and keep your eyes on them skies.